Most people, when they think of power chords, they think of this. Or this. But I like to use power chords in a more nuanced way, using like an indie style of playing, like this. Wow, that was bad. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or like this. Now, you saw me using a couple of other chords other than power chords, and I'm going to show you in this series exactly what those chords are and how I come up with them. So this video is going to be divided into 3 parts. Part 1, we're going to look at what power chords are, some music theory behind them, where you can play them on the neck, and how you can combine them with using my zone method to play in all keys anywhere on the neck, just using power chords. It's actually going to be really short to figure that out. You'll get it quickly. Part 2, we're going to be looking at transforming power chords into other chords. So we're going to look at how you can take one power chord and just add one finger, lift one finger up, change something around to get another chord that works with that power chord. Really useful stuff to just beef up your power chords. And if you're a solo guitar player, like just jamming by yourself most of the time, it really helps. Okay, part 3, we're just going to look at 4 chord progressions that we're going to apply playing power chords in more of an indie folk style and not in like the classic rock style. All right, so let's jump right in. What are power chords? Power chords are basically intervals, so like 2 notes, 1 note here and then 1 a fifth away. Now, the way we define a fifth is actually called a perfect fifth sometimes, is we play our major scale. On a guitar, it's very easy. You just go like, okay, if you have a note here, then the perfect fifth is over there. And if you have a note here, the perfect fifth is there. There. But you can also use your major scale to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the easiest way to play a power chord, just to, 1 fret in between, 1 string down. Then you have your power chord shape. But I mean, to have the shape is not really the thing that makes it special, but we need to go over all the shapes. So let's jump right in. Okay, so we've got our 5 chord. A power chord is sometimes called a 5 chord because it's neither major nor minor. So for instance, this chord, this A minor chord, could either be an A minor or an A major, but we just call it A5 because it could work with this, or it could work with a regular A. Because the notes inside the power chord do not define the major or minor, because it's the 5th interval, and the 3rd interval is the one that defines if it's going to be major or minor, and that 3rd one is not present in the power chord. All right, if that doesn't make sense, go check out my music theory course and you will be happy you did. I promise you that. All right, so these are the shapes. You can have the root note on the E string, move that around anywhere. Wherever you put your index finger will be the name of the chord, okay? So if I have it here on an A, this is going to be an A5 chord. If I have it here on G, that will be a G5. Here on F, that'll be F sharp. Okay. You can move this down to the A string, same story. C, D, E, F, E, F, G. And then the next voicing here is basically when you add the octave again. So the intervals here is 1, 5, 1. If I zoom in there, it's basically if I play a G power chord like this and I add the pinky there, then I've got a G, a D, and another G, and that gives me this just a fatter sound. Let's add the pinky. You know, sounds pretty cool. You can do the same thing on the A string. I'm not going to demonstrate that. The next voicing, which is my favorite, are inversions. Now this is where I take, let's say I play a C power chord. I can take this G and also play it at the top using my index finger like that. So now I've got 2 Gs and just 1 C. And listen to this. Now to get this clean, it's very difficult, but you need to just spend some time on it and you will see, you'll get it. Okay. Now you can even add the pinky again there. Now you have this double. You have a 1 and a 1 and a 5 and a 5 of the chord. And that gives you the thickest sounding power chord you will ever hear. Listen to this. And that is a very good hand exercise. It really intenses your hand and it's very cool to play. Now, what we're gonna do next is figure out with zones how you can play the power chords and what power chords actually go together. Now, if we look at zone 1 here, I'm just gonna zoom in to zone 1. You can see it's got 1, 2, and 3 minor chords on the top string, and then 4, 5, 6 just below them. So this is a very good zone, good to get started with the power chords. So let's say we wanna do our 1-4 progression using power chords. If we're in the key of G, it's going to be 1 is here, 4 is just below it. Pretty simple, eh? So 1, 4 would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 5, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Could do 4 there as well. You know, and you're going to start to figure these things out by yourself if you jam around. Let's do a 6, 4, 1, 5 progression using this. We can start anywhere. Let's start on fret 10 with a 6 chord. 4. 1 is just above 4. If you don't understand what numbers are, you know, you need more help. No, I'm kidding. Then go do my music theory course. It's really going to help you. The music theory channel challenge. It's included in my membership. You know, if you have access to that, you'll know about that. All right, let's go to zone 2. Now, like thinking about it like this, you usually, let me just quickly explain this before we carry on. So 1, 4, and 5 are your 3 major chords in a key, and 2, 3, and 6 are your 3 minor chords in a key. So if I'm in the key of G, this will be a G, C, and a D, and an A minor, a B minor, and an E minor. Now usually you'll stay in key, and there are some common non-diatonic chords you'll use, like often the 3 chord is made to be a major chord. Like in the key of G we go G. Or in the key of C we do an E chord instead of E minor. So that is the most common way we'll go out of key, but sometimes we can do the 2 as a major, we can do the 5 as a minor, the 4 as a minor. So there's a lot of stuff we can do. The 6 as a major, you know, you can just basically change everything up. And there's also some chords in between you can use. You can use the flat 3 chord, which is there, or the flat 6 chord, or the flat 5, if you want to. Okay, but anyway, that is just an overview of that. Now let's go to zone 2. Now you can use power chord. I'm not going to go every zone, but this is another zone just to demonstrate for you how cool what cool stuff you can do with power chords. I'm going to zoom in here to which window? This one. Okay, so zone 2, I'm just going to play around with it using the key of C sharp minor. So that means I'm going to put my 6 chord on C sharp over there. So if this is my 6 chord, then I can go to my 4 and my 3 like that. So 6, 4. simple way to play with power chords. I could mess around with some more like inversions and stuff. So let's say I do my 6th chord with the 5th inversion like this. Go to the 1, 5, make it like a full one. Sounds epic and pretty cool. I like it. Okay, same thing with the other zones. All these zones are connected, so you can see the kind of connection points here. If I look at the zones, you can see there you connect that with that. Now this is just how you play power chords all over the neck. Now check out the next video, which is going to be part 2, and we're going to look at transforming power chords, how you can use them to come up with something very creative. All right, have a nice day, guys. See you soon.